Good evening and welcome to FTB Sports. This is the post-match reaction, Crystal Palace versus Spurs game. And we have a few guests today. We've got Mike as usual. We've also got Ian, Crystal Palace, and we've got Darius, who's a Spurs fan. It's frustrating. It's a very frustrating result. I'm going to try and keep my emotions in check. I'll let you guys have your say, have your speak. And well, firstly, let's go to Mike first. What's your thoughts on the game, Mike?
I'm going to keep this quite short, sharp and sweet. Frustrating. We started off very well. We actually took the game to Palace. The first 25 minutes, I thought that both the fullbacks were bombing on in their opposition half. I thought we took the game to Palace, which is what I was kind of expecting, and I'm sure probably most Spurs fans are probably expecting the same. But once we scored that goal, the whole dynamics just changed. Palace got into the game more, grew into the game more. Zaha and is it Eze? Grew into the game, and we didn't really as they grew into the game, we got more confident. I don't think we really nullified that threat from those two, and we just sat back, and you could see the goal coming from Palace, and it's frustrating because when they got the goal, we then started we then decided we want to try and go for the win. And then we started creating chances. Dyer was unlucky, Kane was unlucky, but we should have been doing that if we'd done that from the moment we scored the first goal, not the second goal, we would have killed that game off. And it's just frustrating that we allowed Palace back into the game. As I say, you can see the second goal coming. You can see the equaliser coming. Yeah, frustrating.
Yeah, I said I had a few notes. We were attacking well in the wide areas. I think we had this discussion. I certainly had a discussion with Darius. Jose he knows how to play against the 4-4-2 block. So Crystal Palace had that block. We were creating enough in the width, the wide areas. The fullbacks were our outlet, and we scored the goal from it. And then it's like, right, okay, we should have gone on to that second goal, but we didn't. Ian, coming to you next. Then, obviously as a Palace fan, what's your thoughts on the game?
Whoops! Sorry, I was so excited. But the first thing I wanted to say was how bliss is it to hear a decent bunch of fans singing songs again. It's like ghosts from the past.
Yeah, it's great. It was great to see that.
2,000 fans sounded like 20,000 fans when they scored. It was fantastic. And when the referee didn't give the right decision, it was like the good old days. It really was. And Selhurst Park is like that. There's a fantastic atmosphere. I was born and brought up in Manchester. Used to watch City, go and watch them in the Kippax, and it is like Palace are still in the 80s or 90s. It's bliss. I was really interested in the game because I think you've got the great exponents of the containment game, who over the last couple of decades have done terrifically well keeping unfashionable teams in the Premier League. You think of the great Warnock, Pulis, Allardyce, and then Rafa Benitez with Newcastle last season. Managers have all played really containing football, strike on the break, and where the fans have been really pleased because they've kept them up and they've just managed to stay up. And for quite a lot of the last seasons, Roy Hodgson's done something very similar at Palace. He's super regimented, super drilled. The fans do get grumbly, there's not enough goals and it's a bit boring, but that's why probably they celebrate so wildly when they do actually get a goal and a result. But you don't expect those qualities and those traits to run through a manager who aspires to win the championship. That's something completely different. Staying in the Premier League, playing containing park the bus football is one thing. Trying to win the league, that's a wholly different game.
Oh, here we go. He's already started on us. He's already started. What I will say is, go on in. I'll let you finish. No.
I'm a purist. I want beautiful football winning playing teams to win trophies, win silverware. I applaud Liverpool last season. They were magnificent. Their footballing was sensational. But when I see a manager like Jose Mourinho, if Johan Cruyff was 25 and Glenn Hoddle was 25, I'm not certain Mourinho would even put him in the team. And that disheartens me as a purist for football. In terms of the game itself, I thought Palace fought them every step of the way. The first goal, was a bit stupid from the goalkeeper. Kane is a brilliant striker. He's the best player, probably almost the best player in the Premier League. But, Wheater made up for it. He's a shot stopper. the key challenge at Palace is he doesn't play the ball out of defence. He's a great shot stopper. And it'd be interesting when Butland starts to get a game whether the Palace star plays. But Spurs are playing more condensed, tighter, more disciplined football than I've seen them in 10 years. But
did you watch all the game, Ian? Because you're going on like we didn't create any chances. We created loads of chances. What I'm saying, to your point, I agree with some of the things you're saying. I do think that we played a bit more contained football today because of the fact when we went 1-0 up. But we had a lot of opportunities. I'm just looking at some of the stats here. 57% possession to their 43. 14 shots for us, 16 to them. 6 on target for us, 5 on target for them. So I think their keeper had to work the majority of the half, or the majority of the halves. What we did do well was create them opportunities in the wide areas, but what we didn't do well was take advantage of that by after scoring the first goal and then making sure that they, kept that pressure. We need to get 2 goals. We can't go on this 1-0, expect to then keep defensive clean sheets. We've kept a lot of clean sheets already, but you can't do that for the whole season. So I'm going to go along with you on that. Just to bring Darius in there. Darius is a Spurs supporter, forgetting some of what Ian said, because he's doing the old Crystal Palace for Jose. What's your thoughts on the game?
As long as you think 57% possession is good against a team that always fight relegation like Palace, if you think that's good, keep going.
Who is this Palace fan?
Who is he? Who is he?
Where do we get him from?
57% possession against Crystal Palace.
I'm not having it. I'm not having him on.
That's result of the season there.
How can you get him off? Darius, can you take over, please? Because I don't want to hear any more from me, and he's not helping my mood at the moment. Go on.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one because I understand what we did, and we've done that against the three of the big 6. We'll say big 6, but I'm not sure about Arsenal being big 6. But yeah, we've done that against 3 of the big 6, and we've most likely got the first goal in most games, I believe, at the start of the season. And when you play against a team like Chelsea, like Arsenal, the way they played, they attack, and you need to have that sort of defensive stability, and then you capitalize, like Jose's done, on the counter. What I don't agree with is the fact that, and this is no disrespect to Crystal Palace, because I think Crystal Palace are a good team now. They are a very good team. They're good individual players that allow them to do almost the exact same tactic that we do, where they will defend in a 4-4-2, but they have explosive players that will get out and they will counter-attack direct and quick. I think when you're a superior team and you have 2 of the best players in the world, you have a player like Højbjerg who is going to most likely clean up most counter-attacks, I think you do have to have a bit of a tendency to kind of take that risk and get a goal. Because like I said just before, you have to think about it like this. If you're defending for 75 minutes in a game or 60 minutes in a game, and you're having crosses constantly thrown at you, and you're having run past you, runs, overlaps, underlaps, it's difficult to be there mentally for the full 90 minutes. And any sort of cross, corner, free kick that might slip up, that might go past one player, or might go past one line of defense, may result in a goal. And I think that Jose, don't know if he puts too much trust in his defense, because we have had the best defense in the league, but I do believe he trusts the defense a little bit too much. And I think that was where we conceded our goal now, because I think he thinks that we're not going to concede unless it's against a world-class forward. And I just believe that any team, any league, if you throw 30 crosses in, you're probably going to have a very close chance to score. And 1-0 leads and Spurs, but we couldn't keep a 3-0 lead in 80 minutes after 80 minutes. So
it's just to let you know you're
1-0 leads, and that's why I believe that we should have gone for that second and third goal.
You're lagging a little bit. I'm not sure if it's your connection, but you've got a little bit of a lag on there, just in terms of we can hear, but your camera's breaking up a little bit. I'll go back to him before I go back to you,
I was
Mike.
just saying that's why we should have gone for that second and third goal.
Okay, so Ian, do you think that Palace deserved the equaliser? Do you think they deserved the draw today?
I thought they were lucky to hold on at the end, but because the goal wasn't a fluke, they'd had 20 minutes of real pressure leading up to that goal and attacking that goal. So I think, yes, they did. If it had come out of the blue or it had been completely against the run of play, I'd agree they didn't, but they did. They dominated the previous 20 minutes. I thought it was quite good. What I want to, hey, working with you guys on this one, if aspiring to the Championship, do you think Aurelia at right back was actually shown up as a bit of an average player today? Do you think there's a weakness down that side? Once you get half a decent forward like Zaha.
So this season, he always had a better season than he did last year. What he does have in him, and he'll always have this, and I think Jose's going to have to accept this. He has got that mistake. So obviously, with the goal came from the foul in the wrong areas. Where he fouls is in the wrong areas. Now, it's hard enough to kind of contain a team like Palace on the counter, but to give them opportunities there, I'd rather him let that player beat him, and we can deal with that cross, because we were dealing with crosses quite well. But to have a set piece to allow their centre backs then to come up to have an opportunity to put a lot of pressure on your goal, that's the criminal. That's the criminal aspect of it, and that's where Aurier has let us down in the past. If you look on the left hand side, Reguilon doesn't do that. He doesn't give away free kicks in those areas of the pitches. He might make a tackle, he might give away a foul, but you very rarely see him give away free kicks in that area, and that is always going to cost you, particularly when you're 1-0 up. So you can't afford to be 1-0 up in the game. Allow a team like Palace, who are, not to say they were just waiting on that opportunity, but if they're given that opportunity, Roy Hodgson's been in the game, he's been coaching nearly 50 years. He's always going to have something up his sleeve. Right, this is what you need to do, and now we're going to take advantage of that, and which they did. So, Mike, I'll just come to you.
Sorry, can I just make one more comment? And I've got to love you and leave you on this one. Very quickly, I watched the City game yesterday. Micah Richards, before the game, said that De Bruyne was similar to Beckham, apart from Beckham always crossed it with a little bit more air, and De Bruyne crosses the ball low and hard into and it's a great expression, the tunnel of uncertainty. And that's what Esse did with that free kick. He did. It wasn't floated. It was thrown right into the tunnel of uncertainty. 100%. So back to the original question. Yeah, they earned the goal because that was a hell of a free kick.
They did earn that goal. And I said,
De Bruyne style free kick.
Even though we shouldn't have given that the opportunity, they took full advantage of that opportunity. And I could see that coming. As soon as it was in that area, you could see they were all prepared. They knew exactly what was going to happen. And it may have been a slight fortuitous come off Lloris, but they was always putting that pressure on. And we've got to avoid that. We've got to try and find ways of avoiding that.
The thing with that goal,
chaps.
All right, thanks Ian for that.
Thank you so much. Take care.
See you later.
The thing with the Crystal Palace goal, it's one of them, because Hugo's there waiting for the ball to come to him, but do you expect your keeper to go out to the ball and try and go and collect it, or do you expect Hugo just to, like he did, wait to see if a touch is taken and then react to the touch to make the save? Or because he's in, once that ball lands in that 6-yard box, it's anyone's. I mean, the slightest touch you see, anything can happen. But
Dave, do you want to go answer that one? I've got my own thoughts on that.
I can't really fault anyone but Jose, and I'm not blaming Jose for the result, but I can't fault anybody for that sort of cross and that sort of uncertainty in the box. I think, yes, if Lloris is going to come out and command it, go for it and take everyone out with you. But we have been so fantastic at defending crosses. We basically had to defend about 40 crosses against Arsenal, and we defended every single one. So I think Jose just took that and thought, okay, if we can do it against Arsenal, we can do it against a lesser team like Crystal Palace. And I just don't think that works, because every single game is going to be a different game. And this game, clearly, it was very, very clear to me that as soon as we scored that goal and started giving Palace a little bit more respect and the chance to attack, it was going to happen. And I was more worried about Palace today than I was Arsenal last week. And that was my point. Even I can see that even if it's a better team on paper or a worse team on paper, the game was saying that there was a goal that was waiting to happen. So I can't really fault any of the defensive players, because, to be fair, like we said, nobody really put a foot out of line today. I mean, Sissoko made a couple of Sissoko mistakes, but I think everybody played their part. And if you have to defend for 70 minutes and you come to the 80th minute and there's a ball that's that's put in that well, can't really be angry at anybody. It's a case of you look at the whole game and then you see, okay, if we had got a second goal, because we had a lot of chances to score as well, and Guaita had a fantastic game as well. So again, Guaita gets a lot of credit for that.
Yeah, so let's not take away from the fact that the keeper made some world-class saves.
He made some world-class saves, 100%.
World-class. The reaction save from Harry Kane was a worldie as well.
In both halves, the first half and the second half, he made two.
Exactly. So we are reacting to the game because as Spurs fans we do, and as a football fan, you're going to react to what you've seen and come off and think. But when you look at it and you look at the chances, again, if you watch this on Match of the Day 2, when they condense that game, the chances will be with us. The main opportunities to score will be with us. The game, when you watch it as a whole, 100%. Palace deserve.
I think you'll be
to get
surprised. I'm not going to lie. I think you're going to be a bit surprised. The second half, I think it just looked, for me, it looked like Crystal Palace were going to score. Like the first half, don't get me wrong, we dominated the first half. But
I'll put it like this to you. Who do you think was man of the match of both teams? If you said a man of the match for the game,
Guaita, 100%. Guaita, 100%.
Lloris wasn't. Also, Lloris was busy as well. He had it, but Guaita, whatever you want to pronounce it, he had to make the more key saves, and he did that.
Yeah.
He did that.
What I will say though is, can you, as we're all Spurs fans here, so can you as a Spurs fan tell me who you thought our best player was? Because if it was me choosing our man of the match, I wouldn't choose anybody from the front three or the midfield three. The only person from the midfield three I would choose the man of the match would be Højbjerg. And then after that, I'm looking at Alderweireld, who was, again, just unbelievably defending everything that he had to do. Dyer, again, had a good game. Reguilon didn't have a great game today. And Aurier, again, didn't have a great game. But I've seen Aurier play a lot worse. So if I was to choose our man of the match, I would also choose a defensive player. So that's why I'm a little bit... I think the quality of chances is what makes Guaita the man of the match, because we had the better quality of chances and we should have scored some of the chances. But Crystal Palace, in terms of the actual way, the way the game went in the second half, they were the only team that really looked like they were going to score. And we didn't even really look like our counter-attacks were going to work either.
Yeah, you'll probably see by the the match of the day, when they do that expected goals, I think we'll be expected to score more goals today because of the clear-cut chances. So going to you, Mike, if you look at the game overall, let's take the game as a whole, having calmed down a little bit. The point to me, if you look back over the span of the 4 games that we've had, you match that up with the City result, you match that up with the Arsenal result, you match that up with the Chelsea result. Yeah. It's not a bad point to have.
No.
It's the fact that, and I'm going to let you say your piece on that.
I like you just said, when you look back, I mean, at this game and at the games previously, in the grand scheme of things, this point, you could look at it as it's 3 points we've dropped or 2 points we've dropped because we've only picked up 1 point. But at Palace and in front of their home fans, and the way the game was played, like the way the game played out, I'll take the point. It's just a little bit, as I say, we go back. It's just frustrating. We could have taken the game to Palace more once we score the first goal. But like you say, when you look at the chances that Palace had, the possession that Palace had after we scored our first goal, I think on the balance of play, the draw is a fair result. It's just frustrating that we didn't capitalise on an opportunity to sit at that top of the table with a couple of points separating us.
Liverpool not having to lose.
Going into that Liverpool game, if we did lose the game, in the grand scheme of things, would be okay. But yeah, it's points. It's just frustrating insofar as we could have given ourselves a bit of a rest in terms of giving us a bit of distance between us and third and fourth place.
I'm just looking at this comment here and I read it out. So we've got Adam Morris. Disappointed in Spurs today. You've given the tyre snatchers the advantage. I'm assuming he's talking about Liverpool there. Tyre snatchers. Yeah, we have. But again, even if we'd have won today, we still got to go to Anfield and get a result. You know, Liverpool haven't lost there in however long.
It's been a long time. It's been a very long time.
Always going to be a very difficult game. I would have liked to have gone into that game with the 3 points on the board today, such that we could go into that game and do our shithousing. You know, we can sit back and we can just go off the break. Now what does Jose do? It depends on obviously the result when they play later on. And that's why we're going to wrap up in about another minute or so's time. But it really does now depend on Liverpool winning this game against Fulham and then see how they approach the game against us. Because we're not an easy team to play. And I think we'll play very much like how Crystal Palace played against us today, against Liverpool. And
there'll be more open opportunities with Liverpool as well, because their defence likes to play a very high line. So
Liverpool are more
that's a good point as well you've made there. The high line of Liverpool. We can exploit that, especially with the pace and the counter attack that we've got in our locker. It'd be interesting to see how Liverpool line up for us going into that game. But that's Wednesday night. That's another game for another day, isn't it?
So yeah, so again, we'll start to wrap up now because I want to go and watch this Liverpool game. I want to see what they're going to do now, and I just want to have a beer as well. What I will say to is, thanks everybody for watching today. Like, subscribe, share, comment. FTB Sports. Thank you very much, Mike. Thank you very much, Darius, for being on today. We'll get you both on again. Mike will always be on again, but Darius, we'll make sure we get you on. We'll probably be doing a pre-match preview of the Liverpool game in midweek, and hopefully, again, we'll have another reaction. Less emotional. Let's just see what happens. But no, thank you very much.
We kept it quite well. We kept it quite well with the emotions. We kept it quite pent in. So we've done a good job.
Trying to wind us up. Even the
language was good. We didn't really swear or anything. I was expecting some meltdowns, but I mean, as I say, we didn't lose. So
you can't have a meltdown given that we're still top of the league. So let's all put that into perspective. So all you fans out there thinking Spurs have dropped to this and dropped that, we didn't lose and we're still top. So thank you very much. Again, like, subscribe, share, comment. FTB Sports, thank you very much. And we'll see you again soon.
Cheers, guys.
Right.
See ya.